Halloween.
Forever.
Guys, what's your favorite thing about vampires?
Is this a joke or where are we going?
Mine's their big giant tits. Welcome to another fucking Minisode of Halloween Forever. I'm Brian.
I'm Meg.
I'm Steve.
Oh boy, guys. I'm not even delaying it here. We're talking about Lifeforce, 1985. This movie fucking rules. I
rules so
always
much
forget
ass.
how much this movie rules, and the fact that nobody talks about it pisses me off so bad. This should be the fucking. This is like, honestly, this is probably the third time I've seen this movie. I don't know why I always forget how much it rules. This movie is legit like top 50 for me. I fucking love this movie so much.
I think it sucks your life force out and then you forget.
Oh man, it sucks something out.
I don't know. It sucks everything out. I'm drained, you guys. Between all this vampire tits and soft docking, I'm just drained.
Soft docking. That caught me off guard so perfectly. It was perfect, actually.
Yeah. All right. Before we get into this fucking masterpiece of a movie I don't know why we expect any less from one Mr. Tobe Hooper, but people just don't talk about this movie. And I think it's because the title sucks so bad. If it was called fucking Space Vampires, people would be buying fucking t-shirts of it all the time.
But also it's like, it is literally the perfect title for this movie. If you're like, yeah, what do we call this? Well, we're talking about like people's lives and like draining and like the actual energy. So like it makes sense. It makes so much sense.
It does make sense, but it's not catchy.
It isn't.
It's not grab you like Space Vampires. All right, guys, we'll get into it. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Things we should talk about first, Brian.
Yeah, guys, I have some weird news. All right. For those of you who listen to the Showdown episode for August, you will know already. Spoiler alert if you haven't. And also, if you haven't, fuck you. But also, we had a stalemate for the first time ever. We had this little situation where we're talking about non-traditional vampire flicks. Your boy came in super tight with Near Dark. Meg came in with a bit of a dark horse with Martin, but a great movie. Steve came in with the hoity-toity filmmaker flick, as he always does, with fucking.
It was great though.
Let the Right One In. I voted for Let the Right One In. Meg voted for Near Dark, and Steve voted for Martin. So it was a stalemate. It's the first time this has happened. Over a year doing this podcast. I'm surprised it hasn't happened already, but it's the first time it happens, which means, as the bylaws clearly state, then it goes to the listeners. So we posted on the listeners, right? We posted out there on the social medias, rather, for the listeners to check. Okay, you guys break the tie. What are you going to pick? Well, Meg went out there and campaigned like a real fucking jack off and just blew us out of the water, right? Because she's like, people like her. She's like, has friends.
There were no rules.
Yeah, Meg has like a social life and has friends and people like her. So they voted for her movie, and she, of course, ran away with it.
How bad was it? Because
a blowout.
Because I actually won the Twitter poll.
Really?
Yeah.
Now let me double check. It was a fucking blowout. Like, it wasn't even close last time I looked, but give me 1 second. I'll look right now. The thing is, listen, she campaigned for it. She was out there kissing hands and shaking babies.
I would have been
trying
class
to get all
president.
your fucking
Let me just say that.
votes.
I would have been class president.
She called up all her witch coven friends.
Yeah.
Let's be real though. It was a great movie. So hey, we can't deny this.
We had just about 100 people vote in, which was great because we had to post this early in the week because I am traveling for work. So we have to record this earlier in the week. So, we posted it on Monday when not everyone had necessarily listened to the episode, and we still had 100 people vote, which was great. And she got over half of the vote. So, she, and then number 2 with,
you people love me. Yeah.
Number 2 was Near Dark. And then and then not terribly far behind was Let the Right One In. So Steve, you and I were in the same category, and then she doubled both of our votes.
Oh Jesus!
So,
yeah, that's
yeah. So, how's it feel to win on a technicality? Huh?
I
how's it
think
feel?
it's not even a technicality. We took the rules, we followed the rules, and the people chose. I'm the people's champ. Is basically what I'm saying.
It's like you are the vice president. You become president because the vice president dies in office. Or
No.
it's like a situation where, you know,
I like how bitter
the
you
champ,
are right now. It's so cute.
It's like the champ becomes, the champ gets caught with performance enhancing drugs, and then you pick up the de facto championship. I'm just saying, it's fucking shameful.
Hey, you guys had
Meg,
the same opportunity. You know, like I said, I would have been class president if I tried.
No, that's what it comes down to. Is Meg has more friends than us, which is fine. Here's what we did. She was gracious, and she did choose a movie which we all talked about doing regardless, which was Lifeforce, which is a fucking batshit awesome movie. So
basically, you're welcome. You know, I had a chance to screw you guys over because you guys have not been kind champions in the last few months. So
I haven't.
No, it's just more like you're being mean, and I mean the movie. Like you're being mean to me. It's not the movie.
To you specifically.
To me.
Just you in particular. Yeah, I mean, listen, it could be worse.
No,
it could be worse.
Awesome. I watched it because we kind of collectively chose that if because of our timeline, let's just do it. And I watched it, and I had so much fun with it. I feel like it has so many elements.
Was this your first time?
Yeah, this is my first time. So it was fun.
Yeah.
It was goofy. It laughed. It was weird. And it definitely had a lot of different elements. Like I actually, while I was watching it, if one of you would have chosen it, I would have 110% voted for that one too. Over Near Dark.
I know.
Whatever your film was, Steve.
Exactly.
See, damn it! And I said it was my first choice, and I hedged.
You tried to play me with the Swede card, bro. You tried to play me with a sweet card.
I figured it would have been enough. It should have been enough, but
it really bit you in the ass there. And you know what? This was me. I knew this movie was like, I forgot about it. A couple of people actually, a couple of our social media friends actually called out, like, you know, because when we teased the episode, we're like, what's your favorite, you know, non-traditional vampire or whatever? A few people said Lifeforce.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, fuck. And I even responded, I was like, I feel so stupid for not thinking of Lifeforce. I went immediately to Western horror or Western vampires. I should have went for goddamn space Draculas, and I didn't, and I regret my decision because this movie rules.
So maybe as a show, we can agree that Lifeforce actually is the best non-traditional vampire movie.
Totally.
Even though Meg won by vote.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
I would say that, yeah. So we all win, guys. Actually, no. Yeah. I don't want to share my championship with either you motherfuckers.
You said it. We all win. No. Deal. Agreed. We all win.
Deal. Handshakes.
Handshake. I spit on my hand. I already shook it.
I pressed my palm to my webcam.
This is not a blood oath. It does not count. There was not blood.
I cut myself.
Did you say count?
Did you say count? All right, guys. Before we get into this, we're getting too deep in the movies. We got some other orders of business we got to talk about. First of all, do you guys got beers or what?
I got beer.
Well, as the champ, I'm going to cut him off. Fuck you, Steve.
She's asserting her champ dominance now.
I'm learning from you guys.
Spoken to.
No, I pulled out my Coven Brewing Company fancy glass here, and I picked up some Champagne of beer, Miller High Life. So I'm drinking a Miller High Life tonight, guys, because I'm celebrating. Fuck your face, Steve. Literally, he was just like,
You can't go wrong with Miller High Life. I will stand High Life forever. Although I do like to drink a High Life out of the clear glass bottles. If I have a choice, I actually just had a conversation with my cousin's girlfriend this weekend when they were over, and we both were standing High Life bottles. And I will continue to do that.
That was a really good story, Brian. I appreciate that.
Was that genuine? Or are you making fun of me?
I'm for sure making fun of
Because
No,
it's-
I do like the bottles too, but
It
but
sounded,
I wanted to make fun
it
of you.
sounded so sarcastic, but your face was not sarcastic. So I was like, you making fun of me? Is you making fun of me?
She's just out here trying to hurt feelings, you know?
I know. I just was supporting her, and then she was like, "Cool story, bro." She threw the Donald Duck meme that just says "wild" when he rolled over in bed at me.
You're crazy.
Her
Yeah. Well, you crazy,
her first
girl.
championship
Crazy girl.
of season 2 it is off to a rocky and just
I know.
cranky start.
She's being a real shit today.
She's being a real peckerhead.
Guys, I just started a new
You're a
job.
real
I'm
peckerhead,
stressed
man.
out. Life sucks. So yeah, no, now it's
She's
coming out
tired.
on you.
She's taking it out on her friends. All right, Steve, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking one of these Slee Fuchs Black
Yeah.
Lugar.
Oh, you got the little black lugar.
Black Lugar.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep. Just cleaning out the fridge. That's it.
Yeah.
Sitting in there. And I haven't been out to go beer shop. So
Yeah, I haven't either, but I got some sample beers. I am drinking some wildly fresh, like canned. When was this canned? This would have been. Yeah, this was canned like 2 weeks ago.
It's fucking nuts,
Not even.
dude. I'm so jealous.
Oktoberfest, Lifeforce Oktoberfest Lager. We're launching it this week, like literally yesterday. And holy good goddamn, I love this beer.
Yeah?
I love an Oktoberfest in general. Märzen style Oktoberfest, the best beer.
outside of just your love of lagers and Oktoberfest, so do you, Jenny? You're like, where would you rank it? Like, you're like, we could do better. This is actually a good representation of it, you know?
I'm not saying it's the greatest one in the world, but it's definitely way up there for me. I would say my favorite Märzen style Oktoberfest I've ever had, American, German, or otherwise, is New Glarus Staghorn.
Okay.
That beer is just like it. Oktoberfest, Märzen style Oktoberfest doesn't get better anywhere in the world for me. I mean, in Germany, like that beer is just the absolute creme de la creme for me. But as far as like the second place, I was just talking to what you were saying, John, at Save on Beer today about it. The other two that I really, really love are Sly Fox. And I really, really love Firestone Walker Oktoberfest. I fucking love that beer.
Cool.
And then I would probably put when Sierra Nevada, I mean, their Märzen is fucking incredible too. And then if you can get like fresh Einger Oktoberfest Märzen, that beer is like a loaf of bread in a glass. Yeah. It's super rich, like super Munich heavy. That one's awesome, but it's not something I can drink like a whole fuckload of. But yeah, this is right up there for me. Like I said, I mean, Staghorn, that beer is top of the top for me. But this is right
Question
underneath.
number 2 then. Do you have, sorry, like I feel like now I'm just interviewing you, which is fine. This is how my brain works. Fest beer versus Märzen style Oktoberfest. Do you have a preference when it comes to the season?
Yeah, I like Märzen, but it's funny because the thing that puts Staghorn above it for me is that it does have a little bit more hop character, but it's also super richly malty. Cool. And that's why I like Sly Fox too. It's got a little bit more hop bitterness than your average Märzen. There's nothing that pisses me off and like just disappoints me more than a super sweet, under attenuated or really caramel malt centric Oktoberfest. Totally. Like, you know, there's plenty of them out there that I'm just like, oh, you just put some fucking caramel malt in your fucking pale lager or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or ones that are just Helles. It's just their Helles brewed to stronger strength and add fucking Cinnamar or a little bit of like tiny bit of black malt to correct for color. It's like that has no additional character to it. So
I'm also really excited because, like, I don't know if you've been over to Golden Age yet, but I've liked a lot of their stuff, and I would be curious. We should definitely collectively all go there. I would like to hear your opinion on it.
I know. I need to try more of their stuff. The only beer I've only had like 2 beers.
Yeah, he definitely brewed. I know a couple weeks ago, Aaron brewed his Oktoberfest, so I'm really excited to try that. But yeah. Lagers, baby.
Yes, tis the year of the lager, you guys. But also last year and the year before that were as well.
My life is the year of the lager. I think that's actually one of my signs, right?
That's what I was going to say. You were born in the year of the logger, I think. I was born in the year of the rat, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember seeing that on a Chinese menus, but all right.
Yeah, year of the rat. Yeah, I actually think that's true.
Well, there's year of the rat, year of the dragon. I just don't remember year of the logger on the Chinese menus.
Oh, you don't remember year of the logger?
Yeah.
It's this year, so you probably haven't seen it. They haven't printed
Steve,
the
it's
menus
the
yet.
alternative version. It's the one that. Yeah, you got to ask for it.
You're the logger, you're the mushroom, you're the vape pen.
Yeah, year of the tequila. I actually might be closer to the year of tequila,
You're the pickleback.
Oh, fuck yeah. Fuck me up. Did I ever tell you guys? Sorry, we're going off tangents now. Have you guys ever had a hamburger shot?
No,
but I would like to read your pamphlet if you have one.
I'm going to go door to door with them one day. No, it's basically like a pickleback, but it's a tequila, pickle juice, and Bloody Mary mix. And
I would fuck with that. I like all those things.
So perfect. I love it. It's so good. Yeah. Someone at Ruggers gave me it for me for my birthday.
Oh, that sounds like a fucking Ruggers shot, doesn't it? Ruggers is if you unless you live in Pittsburgh, you don't know Ruggers. Ruggers is like it is like a rugby / soccer bar kind of. And yeah, they go hard over there.
Yeah, you can get a cowboy.
In a good way.
You can get a cowboy, which is a 24-ounce PBR with a shot of Old Grandad. There is one with a Modelo and tequila. They got the hookup. It feels like a cool divey type bar, but it's not. They have great beer, great food, and the bartenders are fucking awesome. So you're in Pittsburgh.
Super old school Pittsburgh dive bar feel. Love that place. Anyway, guys, we're not talking about Pittsburgh bars. We're talking about beers. And now we're about to talk about spinning a damn wheel, aren't we?
Yeah. Time to spin the wheel.
We're going to spin this wheel. And I should say, for those of you who are new, because guys, it's August. We're well into August. We are balls deep in August, you guys, which means it's pretty much Halloween. So we are undoubtedly, we actually are already seeing it. We're undoubtedly getting some new listeners because we as last year was the case and appears to be the case this year. As Halloween approaches, we get thousands and thousands of new listeners, which is awesome.
It just feeds your theory about Halloween starting in August, though. That's pretty much what it is. It's just it ramps the fuck up. You better be getting your costumes ready. I don't know what I'm going to be yet. I think I have ideas.
I've changed my mind about 6 times, but my kids highly influence what I end up being. But I am known to have multiple costumes for adult and kid friendly activities. But in any case, yes, this is pre-Halloween season as far as I'm concerned. As we get into August, and then my birthday, which is August 13th, for me, that kicks off full on Halloween season. We are right up the fucking road from that. So we're going to talk about what we're going to do for our September episode. And for those of you who are new to the show, here's how this sumbitchin' works, right? We have this big pool of potential topics, many of which we've come up from, many of which have come up from our listeners and social media friends. Those topics we put into a big pool. Steve puts them on his big old dang spinny ass wheel. We spin the wheel. We come up with three topics. Then we put them out to our social media friends, and you vote on which topic will be our Showdown episode for the following month, which in this case will, of course, be September. So then we each pick a movie associated with one of those topics. We talk about it on the Showdown episode. We argue about it. We vote. And then, of course, somebody gets to take home that sumbitchin' strap for the month. So that's how it works. That said, Steve, let's spin that sumbitchin' wheel. Let's see what we get for September.
Spinning the wheel.
I'm going to crack this here beer right up on the mic. Ready?
So first one is an interesting one because it's going back into the world of TV, but it's best Erie, Indiana episode.
Holy shit, that is a random one, and I absolutely fucking love it. Have you not watched Erie, Indiana? Which would not be, it's not outrageous that you have not, but
no, I have no idea what it is.
Fucking great show. A short-lived kids sci-fi spooky show a la Are You Afraid of the Dark-ish?
Yeah.
Somewhere between Are You Afraid of the Dark and like a Goosebumps or something like that. But it's typically speaking a little bit less, ghosts and vampires and things, and a little bit more like sci-fi-ish, but not always. They do all those different things. There's I think like a mummy one or something like that. But it is a great show, and it stars the kid who his name escaped me right now, but he's the kid who's in Hocus Pocus, right? Isn't it the same kid?
I think so. Like the younger brother. Is that what?
No, the main kid from no, or is it him, or is it's some other kid who is? No, I think it's him.
No, you're right. You're right, Brian. It's Omri Katz is.
Omri Katz. He's the kid who stars in Hocus Pocus. But anyway,
he was so dreamy. I had such a crush on him when Hocus Pocus
everyone did. That was that time where they put like JTT in there, and they just like made all like
definitely in Tiger Beat for sure.
Yeah, like any heartthrob type. Male or female, they would always make them just androgynous enough for like both little, like whatever gender of little kid you were to be like kind of horny about it. Like that was the move back then.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that's the Hanson brothers.
Yeah, Hanson, exactly. Like
exactly.
Yeah, they're just androgynous enough where like whatever your sexual preference is, you're gonna get a boner over it.
I totally question if I liked girls at that point.
Oh yeah, for sure. Everyone did. I mean, as a kid, I'm like 12. I'm like, fuck, Taylor Hanson's hot. Like I want to make out with Taylor Hanson. You know what I mean?
These girls are so fucking hot right now. Bob, literally, they knew it.
Yeah, everyone was getting real bi-curious on around that time frame. In any case, so first one's Erie, Indiana, which I think is a very cool topic. I hope people vote for it because I would love to go back and revisit some of that show. As I would Big Bad Beetleborgs. I'm trying to get back. I'm trying to get people back on the Big Bad Beetleborgs bandwagon because that show fucking rules too.
All of this stuff right now.
Big Bad Beetleborgs was
I like the name a lot.
Power Rangers ripoff.
It is a spooky Power Rangers ripoff.
There was a Frankenstein.
There's a damn Frankenstein. There's a damn Dracula. There's a damn mummy, and then they're all basically.
Wait, do you mean Frankenstein's monster?
No, Frankensteins. There's like, multiple Frankensteins. There's multiple Draculas. No, but there's basically they live in a whole house full of dang monsters, but then they're also Power Rangers that have like beetle suits on. It rules. Anyway, all right.
I'm gonna find this. I think you can watch it on. I see something. You might be able to find it somewhere, maybe on the YouTubes.
Erie, Indiana's on Prime, and Beetleborgs is probably on YouTube. People just upload shit on there, and
I know that. I know Erie, Indiana is one of those platforms because I've watched it.
I just found a video. It says the Power Rangers on acid, the Big Bad Beetleborgs.
Oh yes, and also there's a character that you need to. His name. What's his name? His name is like not Flubber, but something like that. And he is essentially like an Elvis impersonator, but with like a Jay Leno. He's basically like. He's like Robin Williams. He very much acts like Robin Williams. He dresses like Elvis with like the hair and the suit and everything. But then he also has like a giant Jay Leno chin, or like cross between like Jay Leno and Mac Tonight.
Yeah.
His name's like Flubber. It's not Flubber, but it's something like that. Flabber. He's fucking bonkers.
Flubber was definitely a different thing.
Yeah, Flubber was that Eddie
Robin
Murphy
Williams?
movie.
Oh, was it Eddie Murphy? I thought it was Robin Williams.
I thought it was. You might be right. It might be Robin Williams.
Yeah, Robin Williams was in the remake of Flubber.
Okay, I was thinking about it. I was thinking about Dr. Dolittle remake. That was the one with Eddie Murphy. All right, what's next?
The next one is Satanic Panic.
Ooh, I like that one.
I'm actually into that one. That'll be fun.
Yeah, so
that'll be fun. September 1, we get, we like pay our homage to our Dark Lord and Master Satan, and we just talk about how like we hope that he blesses us with good things for the Halloween season, and we'll talk about like Sam Hain. When you say something
like that, is you actually we hope that he blesses us with terrible things, because terrible things are good.
Well, and we'll like pray to whatever like pagan gods to bless us and our harvests on Samhain and that sort of thing. So I'm into that. All right. So we have Erie, Indiana and Satanic Panic. Those are fairly different. All right. What are we going for number 3?
Satan just blesses me with, sandwiches, but number 3 is one that came up last year, but we didn't get it. So maybe we'll get it this year. It is Giallo films.
Ooh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
I like that. That's fun. Yeah, I watched a couple of good ones. I rewatched The Bird with the Crystal Plumage.
Nice.
When I had to Corvids, and one other one, which I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, and like they're all on Tubi, so
Yeah.
Sick. Speaking of which, are you guys all feeling? You guys are looking a little bit more spry now. Are you feeling good? Feeling?
I feel like $1 million. I feel like $1 million. I'm on top of the fucking world. I feel 10 feet tall.
I didn't drink for 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden went hard as fuck this past weekend with a bunch of like saisons.
Yeah, I saw you were really out and about, really setting the world on fire over the weekends.
I was drinking
Campaigning.
Malort. Man, life.
I saw you drinking. Malort is
awful.
So bad. I have a lot of friends in Chicago, and some of them will die on that horse, and it's a very polarizing thing. But a lot of them are like, no, it tastes like fucking aftershave. It's disgusting.
So, like, Brian, I think you might be the only person I know who can answer this question, but compare Malort to Pelinkovac.
Oh, yeah. So much thinner.
Okay.
Pelinkovac, especially the original like OG Ambridge Pelinkovac, was very syrupy, almost like Jaeger.
Yeah.
This is like thin, and it has a very like antiseptic, chemically almost mouthwash or aftershave type of character.
Yeah.
It's not really anise. It's more like medicinal.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of got this like, it was like, I mean, so I'm not comparing obviously, but like I thought it was like, it just literally, when I say sweet, it had like this very sweetness up front, but it was like subtle and then instant bitterness. Like,
yeah,
so
it's
it was just
super
fucking
incredibly bitter. And I mean, and it's like, you know, these are all in the family of bitter liqueurs, and like I love Campari and I love bitter things, but this is like got a very distinct chemically bitterness.
Okay.
Like it kind of tastes like poison.
Oh, okay,
I think
sure.
it tastes like someone hates you.
Yeah, it's just it tastes
You know
like
what hate tastes
aftershave.
Oh yeah, I've done Everclear shots, so I know what that's about.
Yeah. If it was thicker and like more syrupy and had a more sweetness that would like cancel out some of this, like it's bitter and then it's just like, I don't know how else to describe it besides like medicinal.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
Like, and I love floral things and I love anise and all that stuff, but this is like chemically.
Yeah. See, I don't love anise, so I have like a little window of ones that I enjoy. Plinkovac's in there and Ouzo's in there. But then like Jaeger is too sweet for me.
Yeah.
And then
yeah. Jaeger's very sweet. Jaeger's even
Did you
sweeter
ever
than
try
Plinkovac.
some of those like alternative Jaegers though? There was like the one that kind of it was almost like a mix between like a spiced rum and Jaeger, and I actually kind of liked that one.
Oh, I could be into
overall, I like. I don't know. I was a Jaeger bomb. I was like a bomb person, you know. Like, give me something that had like liquor.
You're a bombardier.
I'm a bombardier. Yeah, give me something that has caffeine and liquor, and I was probably doing that when I was in my 20s.
Yeah, I definitely had my fair share of Jaeger shots back in the day, but we were a Plinkovac family, and Plinkovac was the poison of choice.
Can you talk to me about this? Because you brought it up. Is this like a local thing?
This is a Beaver County ass thing. There's this distinct.
Yes.
Yeah, like Eastern European, like Croatian, Lithuanian. I believe it's actually originally Lithuanian. Bitter liqueur, a la Jaeger, or even what was the fucking one we were just talking about? Chicago one,
Malort, but better.
Malort, like it's in that range, but it's a little bit syrupy and sweet like Jaeger, but it's not as like dark. It's like golden colored. Anyway. And it has this like Lithuanian woman on the bottle, and it was
babushka lady.
Yeah, and it used to be made in Ambridge, in Beaver County, and it was like a local, kind of mill-hunky liqueur of choice. And then they started making it in Cleveland, and it like really, really sucked. Like it was really thin and didn't taste like the old stuff at all. But I guess now they've went back to the old recipe, but you still find the old bottles.
On it.
Yeah, they found the old bottles because the old bottles were the ones that had the gold cap. So then you would find the new bottles, and I think they had a black cap. And so like literally people in like Beaver County would be like, you got Pelinkovac? You got the gold cap, or it's like, yeah, because they knew that was the old stash shit.
Was that like one of those things that like people kind of actually enjoyed, or was it like this is so cheap, so we're just gonna drink it because
it actually was good? I mean, it was actually something. I mean, even as a high school kid, we used to just like sip it out of the bottle. I mean, it's only 70. I think it's only 70 proof. Maybe it's 80 proof, but it's not super strong. It's really sweet, but it's also like super spicy. So it's like very anise, clove, like cinnamon, that sort of stuff. But it's most notably like black licorice-y. But there's other stuff in there too.
But it's also $10 a bottle. So,
and that's the thing. It's also $10 a bottle, and especially it might be more now. But like,
chaser of choice?
No chaser. In fact, that was a very hard rule for us when we were in high school. Is you drink it warm, and you just room temperature, not like in the microwave, but you drink it room temperature. You drink it straight out of the bottle, and you do not chase it. That was like the move. And you also have to talk to the lady on the outside and like kind of romance her and like get her like consent before you drink it.
Wait,
it was a whole ritual.
Brian, new idea. The heart tattoo. You get that lady tattooed inside of it.
My high school friends would support that 100%, but I'm pretty sure that ship sailed 15 to 20 years ago. But yes, I wouldn't be surprised if one of my friends showed up one day with a Pelinkovac tattoo with the lady on it. But
what about one on the forearm, like Pete and Pete style?
Oh yeah, you can like make her dance. Like what's her name? What's Pete's little
Rose.
Pete's?
Yeah, wasn't
Rose?
it Rose?
Isn't it Rosie?
Yeah.
Rosie or something? Anyway.
Okay, what I'm saying is that now at one of our next in-person meeting or recordings, you guys have to have a bottle of that.
I will track one down. It's
still
delicious.
in Beaver County.
Yeah, I think the last time I had it was my friend Eric brought a bottle to our house around Christmas time, and we slugged it down. Actually, I was drinking it at our Halloween party last year too.
Yeah, we were drinking it in the dark.
Yeah. Oh, that was my birthday.
Which is exactly how you should, I feel like. That
was when my birthday was on Friday the 13th last year, and I was going to have a big, I was going to have like an outdoor
and then you lost
movie
your power.
night, and then a tree fell and the power lines were outside my house, and we sat and drank Pelinkovac and ate charcuterie in the dark, which was still fun. But
I still think about that charcuterie tray.
Yeah. Yep. All right, guys. As a recap, here's the topics. Go on the social medias, on the Instagrams at Halloween is Forever, at Hallow Forever on Twitter, Halloween is Forever podcast on Facebook, at Halloween is Forever pod on TikTokies, or Halloween is Forever pod at gmail.com if you want to send us emails. And it's going to be Erie, Indiana, Satanic Panic, or Giallo Flicks, maybe the most diverse lineup of topics we've ever seen, which I'm pretty excited about. And then for October, we are planning to revisit our same approach for last year, which was our John Carpenter Showdown.
Minus the bad movies.
Yeah, we put all of John Carpenter's horror flicks on a wheel and we spit them. Last year, if you recall, if you've been listening to the show for a while, we literally got his 3 worst movies. So we've got those out of the way, and we are ready to fucking fire on all cylinders. To remind them is
that we don't put his like best ones. Like The Thing is not on there.
No, The Thing will be on there.
Yeah, The Thing will be on there.
The Thing will be this year.
Yeah.
We took The Thing off for remakes because we all wanted to do The Thing.
I might get a little stabby if one of you guys get it. I think I said the same thing last year, though.
Yeah, but I mean, you got Halloween on there. You got
He's like,
Prince of Darkness on
come
there.
At me, bro.
I'm excited. I'm excited for that. All right. Now, without further ado, let's get into a little flicky called motherfucking Lifeforce, you guys, from the year of our Lord 1985. This movie rules, as we've said already. Tobe Hooper knocked this out of the fucking park. It was written by somebody. What's the name of the guy who wrote it? He was the guy who wrote Aliens too.
Dan O'Bannon, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. They just knocked it out of the fucking park. There's a couple of fatal errors that they made, which I think probably made for this not having the success and longevity that other, horror movies that frankly aren't nearly as good have had. One, they called it Lifeforce, which is a name that sounds like it could be a fucking Disney Pixar movie. Like, it doesn't tell you anything. If you called it fucking naked space vampires, again, everyone would have fucking tattoos of it on their body. Also,
can we do it like an AKA? Can we just like do that for ourselves? It's like Lifeforce, but AKA all we see is tits,
naked space vampires.
On these vampires.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like Humanoids from the Deep. You know what I mean? Like that movie was called what, like Monster, and then they decided to rename it Humanoids from the Deep, and then it got way more play.
It's way more appealing.
100%. 100%. If you'd have called this naked space vampires or big titted space vampires or something like that, everyone would be drooling over it.
There's definitely a Pornhub version of this that is basically Lifeforce, aka I'm gonna come on your tits.
There's also nothing. There's nothing more. There's no porn version of this that could be more sexy than the real thing. That's what I'm saying. So they pulled out all the fucking stops in this, which, I did not realize before. This is a canon flick.
Yeah. So
like
so one of the reasons why I love this film is because this film burns money every second. It cannot stop burning money. And it's crazy because, like you said, it's a canon flick. So it's produced by Globus and Golan.
Yeah.
And like they were not known for making this kind of film, but this was their attempt to be blockbuster producers. Because they had terrible coke habits.
Yeah, and they also had Tobe Hooper. They had coke habits, and they had Tobe Hooper, and they were like, "Listen, we can. This is a great script. It's based off a kick-ass book. Let's fucking give Tobe Hooper a fucking. I don't know what the budget on this. I didn't look it up, but let's essentially give him a fucking blank check and let him run with it.
Yeah.
And he did. He delivered. It's just again.
Yeah.
It's the way it was marketed and the name.
So this film might be the original Malignant, because if you think about like Malignant, it has a name director to it, and it had like a $40 million budget.
Yeah, this
film had a $25 million budget, but when you correct for now dollars, that's $65 million.
Yeah,
and it's all on screen. It's all on screen because they just constantly burn money. They have space. They have puppets. They have crazy blood effects. They have the most amount of extras I can ever think of.
I know. This was honestly maybe even more so than Malignant. This reminds me of Gremlins 2. Mm-hmm. Like Joe Dante's "fuck you." Mm-hmm. I mean, Joe Dante's Gremlins 2 was a literal middle finger, whereas this was just more like they gave Tobe Hooper a blank check and he said, "I'm gonna do whatever the goddamn hell I want."
Right? Yeah.
Which man, it's criminal that this movie doesn't get enough attention. And if you have not seen it, stop what you're doing right now. If you're holding a baby, drop it. if you're cooking on the stove, walk away, leave it burn, and go to Tubi, because it's fucking free on Tubi, and watch Lifeforce, and you are going to, and it's like 2 hours long, and it feels like it doesn't feel a second over an hour and 25 minutes. Like it just cruises. There. I will admit there are some dialogue heavy scenes where I'm like, did you really have to talk that slow? You know what I mean? It's a British, we should say it's a British production. So the dialogue is very British.
Yeah, but I also feel like for the time period too, like they were definitely like explaining more than where our short attention spans really exist these days. So it felt very appropriate. And I think if you go into it thinking that way, the pieces that might feel slow, you're like, yeah, whatever. I know what's going on. It's a time and place thing. Like this is normal.
Mm-hmm. And they're going for like a big kind of space epic. So it's like it feels like an appropriate runtime. It doesn't feel super long. I mean, they literally went out, just to give you some like an idea of what Steve's talking about. They went out and got Henry Mancini and the freaking London Symphony Orchestra to do the original score for this movie.
How much Pelinkovac do you think Mancini drank?
He drank like 4 bottles of Pelinkovac and then drunk dialed, the conductor from the London Symphony Orchestra. I was like, I got a goddamn naked space vampire movie. And they were like, who the fuck is this? He was like, I'll give you $1 million.
It's me, like, Italian Henry Mancini. I'm from West Aliquippa.
It's me. He's eating the fucking Mancini's bread. Is he part of the Mancini bread fortune?
I was trying to find that information. I couldn't figure it out.
Sounds likely.
Well,
doesn't it sound likely?
Well, like he grew up in West Aliquippa, and Mancini's bread is from McKee's Rocks. So like
it's right up the road.
Yeah, like how are they not tied? So
Mancini's bread, we should say for those of you who are not from Western Pennsylvania, from the greater Pittsburgh area, Mancini's bread is kind of the famous local Italian bread. It's what Permani's uses famously on their sandwiches, and So
also, don't sleep on their French bread pizzas, guys.
Ooh, never had their French bread pizza, but I absolutely will fuck with that.
It's like triple the size of what the shit you'll get in the grocery store, but just as cheap. So go do that.
Yeah, I fuck with that. So anyway, we start off and it's a very kind of epic alien-like or I don't think it's too out of school to say it feels a little like 2001: A Space Odyssey a little bit.
Well, here's another kind of credit that lends to like 1, burning money, and 2, them trying to go blockbuster. We already talked about Dan O'Bannon, who wrote the Alien writer, but the other person they got from the time is John Dykstra to do the special effects for this film, and John Dykstra was like the original head of ILM for the first Star Wars movie. And then like also went on to do a bunch of other films, and like even still works today and does like a lot of the X-Men and fucking like Spider-Man films.
Well, and it totally makes sense now that you say that too, because he really rely on some of those kind of tricks of the trade that you see in Star Wars flicks, where it's all about like scale and everything. It's written like Alien. But yes, the space scenes are absolutely shot like Star Wars in that everything, they talk about the alien spacecraft, which is this big, giant, organic, goth-ass vampire spaceship. And it looks like a giant-ass like goth umbrella that hasn't been extended yet, kind of. And they say it's like 150 miles long.
Right.
Which is so wild. Yeah. And then they show it, and it's just like one little corner of it is like blots out the sky kind of thing. So
if this is remade, I said we as if maybe we are going to do them. We're not, clearly.
But, if we remake this.
Well, what I'm getting at is that what I want is the score to actually be just like goth industrial music the entire time.
Yeah, it's just Bauhaus the whole time. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
I think we have to stay with tradition of getting Western Pennsylvania people to do the score, and we get Trent Reznor. So
there you go. Yep.
He probably would be.
And he used to like live. Wasn't he like your next door neighbor or something?
It's like Mercer up there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we start out. We got this big damn vampire spaceship, and these astronauts who are from the spaceship Churchill go. They see the space shuttle. They decide they're going to go, or this giant spaceship. They're going to go on and explore it a little bit. They find all this weird like what's the word they keep using that are all dried out, desiccated.
Yeah,
these desiccated corpses of these crazy big like bat creatures,
which I kind of like. I don't know how you guys thought. I kind of liked the figures the entire time. Like I don't know.
I thought they were cool too.
I always thought
you
give
me a big ass bat, I'm a fucking sucker for a big ass bat person. But they never really show them super close up, at least not until a little bit later in the movie when the vampire person kind of transforms into them. But anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Filled with all these dead, what they say to be thousands of dead, desiccated giant bats, basically, in this weirdly organic, almost hive-like space station.
Well, I mean, they go through a damn butthole to get there, so
I know they do. That's why I say organic. It's like there's a full-on anus that they go through. Is that what you call
when you take a shit? Is like, I need to go do something organic right now.
I'm gonna go desiccate this bathroom right now. So they have this big ass spaceship, and then they just randomly come upon these like 3 humans. They're very like attractive, like model looking humans that are in these like glass enclosures, these almost like display case types of things.
For anyone who hasn't seen it, though, I feel like the female kind of reminded me of the woman from Love Witch.
Oh, yeah, I can see that a little bit.
Like,
yeah, she does look a little bit like her.
Yeah, I almost for 2 seconds I was like, was that Love Witch movie? And then I realized what the name was, and I was like, no, she's a witch movie. But yeah, no, it kind of definitely reminded me. She like had this like gorgeous, like natural, like she kind of always looked like she was glowing in a way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's very, very attractive. And also we should specify all 3 of these people. They're like very attractive and they're butt ass naked. Mm-hmm. Although, and you see, you don't get full frontal, but you see just a whole lot of her boobs, just boobs galore throughout this entire movie. I would go as far as to say that the star of the movie is her boobs.
They're very big.
And, yeah, they're fantastic.
And they're also perfect. They're like perfectly shaped.
Yeah, they don't even look real.
They're not even, there's no sag. They're just like perky, and yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah. And then there's also the 2 guys. Hey, spoiler alert! You see 0 vampire wiener.
No
which
ding
is,
dong.
I know,
so
but I'm kind of like, if this was like 2022 movie, we would have seen some ween.
Yeah, we would have saw some dick for sure. We saw a little ween. But anyway, you figure out really quickly that these vampires, although they appear to be like dead or in some sort of suspended animation, have a hypnotic power over people and make them like extremely horny and attracted to them. And then so I won't kind of go through every single scene, but you quickly
I do have to interrupt you though, because I think like one of my favorite things about it is like, it is old, so like also some of the effects are just terrible, but like watching the astronauts move from the spaceship into this glide, it was hilarious. Like I audibly laughed. I was like, this is so silly.
It does look like they're on an invisible escalator almost a little bit. Yeah, it's a little weird.
I thought they were like maybe just like hung, almost like dry cleaning, and they're just like being pushed through the space.
They look like the one guy in that works in like the DMV type area.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice.
I was gonna use Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell. It's like, yeah, no, they're just like going into hell and they're just being suspended and brought in. And
I love that show.
It's so good.
Yeah. So anyway, so you kind of cut to another spaceship, or actually this kind of space station situation, and they're like, well, it's like the command center. They're in Houston or whatever they said. It's the Houston, we have a problem type of thing. So it's this very like NASA control room type of setting, which I was confused about because they say like Houston, we have a problem, and I was like, wait, is that like a phrase where they call like base Houston, or are they literally talking about Houston? Because everyone else like seemed British.
Well, yeah, it was. I think they said early on in the voiceover that it was a joint mission between America and, because like one the main character that we wind up following for a bit is American.
Yes, he is. In any case, they lose contact with the ship. They become very worried. They decide they're going to send a rescue mission, which is the space ship Columbia. Right, Columbia goes after the Churchill, and as they approach it, again, they say the phrase "soft dock" a lot, and I wrote in my notes, if they say "soft dock" one more time, I'm gonna shoot. That's just what I said in my notes. It just seemed very erotic the way they were saying soft dock. Anyway, they go in there. They all go into the ship. The Churchill, like I said, has stopped responding. And then they go on board and everyone is all fucked up. Everyone's dead. Everyone's all like desiccated and fucked up. But they still have the nudes. The 3 nude people are all like intact in their little ship. You also start to hear little context clues around this time about this whole thing has something to do with like Halley's Comet and being in the tail of Halley's Comet. And they take them back to, HQ, if you will. And they have the woman in there and they're like monitoring them through this camera. And they are going to do an autopsy on them. and then they can't decide if they're alive or dead. And they're like, well, they're aliens. We don't really know or whatever. And then I wrote, she wakes up and she's got excellent boobs. And then she just walks around, shows her your boobs. Everyone gets like super horny for her. And she starts sucking the life force out of people. First, there's just a guard, just some like random young kid guard. And she like starts making out with him. And then she starts sucking like, it's like almost a vapory type of like lightning bolt. Electrical charge is kind of in the color blue is like the way they're like representing the life force being like sucked out of their mouth.
If you remember
into her mouth,
if you remember in Ghostbusters when all the ghosts break out from the firehouse, it's basically the exact same effect because it even comes up later in the film. You know, with the one guy vampire.
I'm glad you brought that up because that was exactly what I thought. Like, you know, well, we can talk about it later, but
there's a lot of Ghostbuster vibes.
Yeah, for sure. This is a sidebar comment of that first person she pretty much just like sucked the life out of. And when he came back to life or event, you know, for that one moment where he's like, oh, I'm alive, like kind of alive. I'm pretty sure the special effects included donkeys.
Includes what?
Donkeys.
Donkey?
And the sound?
The sound
like the
design.
Sound effects. I was just like...
It is a weird noise that they make. They make this weird guttural, throaty, almost like a hee-haw type of thing.
It's definitely animalistic.
Just rewatch it and think about donkeys and you're like, yeah, no, this is exactly what this is at this point.
But they look like the Crypt Keeper. They become this like desiccated corpse. They look like a cross between the Crypt Keeper and the woman on the table in Return of the Living Dead. You know, that's like, it hurts to be dead, you know, that woman. But yeah, so you see that the booby Dracula is using her feminine wiles to seduce people, and she even goes as far as like says to one guy like, use my body, and then I love the line from the one like the guy who's in charge of the whole entire complex. He's like, don't worry, a naked girl's not going to get out of this complex. It's like, yeah, she fucking definitely is, dude.
I can see your boobs. Cool. Yes, there you go, lady.
She almost hypnotizes them with her big puffy nipples.
Pretty much.
No, there's still some classic vampire things, but yes, we then say she's like hypnotizing, but it's like through her nipples.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, so it's like a twist. This is the non-traditional side, guys.
Yeah. There's so much like you're saying, Meg, like the traditional vampire has the glamoring look and they can stare you in the eyes and take control. She just has a nice rack.
It's that, but just boobs.
Just boobs.
So like when we're getting to know all this, like all I was going through my brain and like maybe my feminist brain, it was just like, this is why guys can't be in charge. This movie is the PSA for any feminist movement. You're like,
this is definitely why the British can't be in charge, because they are so thrown off by just like naked women all the time.
You guys are too. Though,
it wasn't even the View.
This
it was
is
like
not just a British thing. Fuck off.
Well, and I'll put it this way. When they called the security guards at the front desk and said there was like a naked woman walking around, not even seeing her and getting hypnotized by her, just the mention of a naked woman threw them for a fucking loop.
No, they were doing that laugh that's like,
yeah, they were like, oi, did you say she's naked? But
is she?
and then they try to give her a dang biscuit like she's a dog.
Yeah, that was so fun. Come on, there, get on down.
Come on, love, come to daddy. He literally says
he gives her a come to daddy. Yeah.
But then,
I would have said the same thing to her.
Yeah, with a biscuit in your hand. Unfortunately,
I don't think I needed a biscuit.
unfortunately, the for them at least, she has the same exact moveset as Darth Vader.
Right.
Because she fucking force chokes them and then shoots laser beams into their chest. Or not laser beams, lightning bolts.
This movie, and I mean, we'll get into it more later, is like, it's not just like an alien film. It's not just like a vampire film, but it has like zombie characters too. Like, I think there's so much to this movie, and I just love it. Like,
it's a genre bender, but you
don't think twice about it.
No,
it's a
awesome.
sci-fi vampire fucking zombie-ish movie, like with fucking exploding corpses and shit and blood, and it's wild.
It doesn't. I mean, what you're talking about, Meg, towards the end, it doesn't even give you time to think about it because you didn't even know all of that shit was happening.
Right. You're just like, I accept this reality.
Yeah, it's like it's just throwing shit at your head, and you're just dodging it and absorbing some of it, and yeah, it's fucking wild. So they call in the military, and then they call in this kind of like detective. Yeah, is he like a detective, but he's like a military detective
is
or
he
military
JAG?
Police? Yeah, I don't know. That's what I was kind of curious about. But his name is, oh boy, I wrote it down.
Colonel Kane.
Colonel Kane. So Kane comes in, and he's wearing, like I said, he's dressed like a 70s, like he dressed like he came out of Get Carter.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But he's apparently part of the military. I don't fully know. But in any case, he comes in, starts asking questions and shit like that. The one doc gets then taken over by, he gets his life force sucked out, like one of the surgeons that's going to like do the autopsy on her or whatever.
Well, no, he gets life forced by the guard.
He just walks in. Yeah,
he gets life forced by the guard. So like that's how they start to put together that there's this pattern of like, if you get life forced, then you'll come back in 2 hours.
you get life forced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll come back in 2 hours, but then you need to feed. And so that like they have this scene in the jail cell of like the guard who got life forced, he dies because he doesn't have anything to feed on. And then that surgeon also just explodes, which I love how when they're done, it's time to explode. And they just
they explode into like dust too. And then like there was an actual laugh out loud scene where after he explodes and then they're all standing there in like shocked silence.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that scene in Hot Fuzz where like the part of the tower falls on the guy and like crushes his head. But the one other like official, one of the guys who's like in the complex from the beginning, he has like a run-in with her where she starts trying to suck his life force, but then like lets him go for whatever reason, because he's just talking about Kane is asking questions and he's like, is it sexual in nature? He's like, overwhelmingly so.
So I actually just in
it's
the
like horribly
moment,
sexually.
In the literal moment that you just said, suck the life force, I realized that this movie is entirely about fellatio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just, I honestly think that the script, and I've never read the book, but either the book or the script or both probably had all of the sucking the life force out of their mouth, which is like essentially it's not very dissimilar to like what they do in Hocus Pocus, speaking of Hocus Pocus, where they suck the life force out of the kids by just like inhaling like smoke out of their mouth. I really think the original script was probably
out of the penis
or out of their dick. Yeah. But I think it was probably fucking, because they really do that at the end.
That'd be a great,
you know
that'd
what I mean?
be a great horror film. Sorry, I'm going to TM in my brain to not talk about it out loud. That's a great idea. No, but also talking about influences, because I feel like, I mean, this movie could have, in theory, been very influential to something like Hocus Pocus, but also What We Do in the Shadows with like the newer show where they have basically like the energy draining vampire. Like this is 10 out of 10, the most influential thing that probably could have come from that.
This is the vampire flick equivalent of the Velvet Underground, where like they never hit it big and only 100 people would go to the show, but 90 of them started a band kind of thing.
Yeah. Totally.
I mean, but it's a damn super group because you have Tobe Hooper and Dan O'Bannon. It's a damn super group of everybody who made the film, and then Patrick Stewart for just no reason.
Oh yeah, Patrick Stewart, and then he gets fucking blood squirted out of his fucking face holes. We didn't even get to that yet.
Man, he gets to make out. Oh my god, it's so gorgeous. I love it. We just skipped that part.
Well, we're not too far off. We're going to move through pretty quick. But, the twin hunk vampires, they try to escape and then they get blowed the fuck up with like grenades or something.
They get blown up and not in the right way.
No, not in a fun way. But they're not dead. Don't worry. They come back later. This whole, like, this section, this is where I wrote down in this point in the notes. I was like, this movie is someone said, let's make Space Dracula. And let's give Dracula some great boobs. And then let's also make Dracula's wives hunky dudes, but let's not show their wieners.
Because they actually weren't that impressive.
Yeah, I mean, but they were like the guys were like very like almost intentionally bland looking.
Yeah.
Like they were very classically attractive. They look like a Rob Lowe.
Right.
Where it's like, yes, I know that he's attractive, but he's like so, or like Carrie Underwood. Like, yes, I understand that she's beautiful in the sense that her face is symmetrical, and I'm meant to think that she's pretty, but she's not attractive because she's so like almost like devoid of character. You know what I mean?
Right.
You also have to consider this is 85, so this is before they figured out like the Chris Hemsworth Spartan diet, whatever. To get really good cuts and gains on dudes, so they had like the cum gutter V's down to their penises and shit. If this movie was made today, it would actually absolutely just be the Hemsworth brothers just cut and jacked, standing there with their dongs half out. So
I would definitely watch that for sure.
Yeah. Now instead, it's like two like
show me your ween,
underwear
Hemsworth.
and like underwear model type of like guys. Like they're kind of scrawny and but. Anyway, so they do try to do that, like you said, the autopsy on the desiccated guard, but then he wakes up and that's like the Return of the Living Dead meets E.T. type of thing. And then, and then they find this female body in the park, which, Booby Dracula has drained her.
Yeah. This is one of my favorite lines.
It's so awkward. Go for it.
When the two guys.
Yeah, the two guys. There's a detective.
Just these two cockney fuckwads that were just like getting high in the park.
Yeah. There's a detective investigating the scene. And like, here's just more characters. Here's more actors we hired that aren't, but the detective is interviewing the witness. And the witness is like, well, we come upon these two women and we were standing around watching because we thought they were they were
like she had too much clothes on.
They're waiting for something to happen.
Basically we were standing in the weeds watching these two girls
hoping they were going to les out.
Jerking each other's dicks off in the weeds.
And then the detective's response is so British, and he's just like, quite, yes.
He's like, yeah, of course, go on.
Of course, yes.
Yes, lesing out, of course.
As you do. Peeping on lesbians, I understand.
Yes, it's a national pastime in Britain, creeping on lesbians. So like Steve said, they explode, and actually the guy who's the doctor who got life forced, he runs through the bars and explodes, which is such a cool scene. But they figure out it takes about 2 hours. So and then the girl on the bed, she just fucking explodes. That's a really cool scene. They're like watching her from outside, and she explodes. So they learn that the Churchill's missing escape pod has shown up and landed somewhere in Texas, and it's what's the fucking guy's name? Not Kane.
Is it Carlson?
The British guy, Carlson, who is one of the astronauts aboard the Churchill, shows up in Texas, with a big beard, and he's all like fucked up and stuff like that. So they bring him back. And he tells the story of what happens, or he tells his first story of what happened on the Churchill, which is essentially they all got hypnotized, and the crew started dying one by one, becoming all weird and desiccated. And he's explaining it that like other people all kind of self-sabotaged the ship, but they couldn't remember what happened. Right. And then of course, the
boobs
vampire
happened.
was feeding. yeah, boobs happened. Vampires, was feeding on the crew, and then eventually Carlson got in the escape pod and fucked off. And then you also, again, hear more about how the comet is basically like 2 days from like Earth's orbit, or the tail of the comet. Earth will be in the tail of the comet. The tail of the comet will be in Earth's orbit or something within 2 days. And then you get a really cool scene of the space vampire, using her magic tits to invade Carlson's dreams. And then she comes into his dreams as a giant vampire, and you don't know if it's real and she's invading the dreams, because that's of course like a big part of the vampire, mythos, is they like come to you when you're sleeping, and then you think it was a dream, but they're feeding on you type of thing. So, but this did seem like it was genuinely a dream.
Yeah. Yeah, it seemed like a dream, but also like the thing is he has this psychic connection.
Right.
So, Carlson is being used by the British government to like try and locate where she is, because like now she's like jumping from body to body.
She can shape shift or whatever now. Yeah. So you quickly learn that could have been a real connection, because he has, now that she has fed off of him, he has a psychic connection to them, not unlike your classical Draculas. Anyway, so they're tracking this giant H.R. Giger looking fucking goth ship, and you realize now that you've come to realize now that the male vampires are not dead. They're still like doing their vampire business, and she has essentially, long story short, she has sent Kane on like a wild goose chase, basically, to like the bumfuck middle of nowhere. She has jumped bodies into this like redheaded woman's body who is at like a mental institution. That's where they find Patrick Stewart. And they suck all the goo out of his head. It's a whole thing. Long story short. And if this is one part, there's great scenes, and it paid off with like Patrick Stewart and all that stuff. But there was some, like, this could have been a smaller part of the movie, probably.
It's such a weird divergence.
It is. It seems a little out of place. And then to throw like 85. What was Patrick Stewart doing in 85? Like, he was a notable actor.
He was obviously a notable stage actor. And
I mean, yeah, he was a Shakespearean guy, right?
Yeah, this is before Next Generation.
Yes,
so,
definitely.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm just going to look it up to see what he was doing like before this. But yeah,
but you get introduced to all these characters, including like, so you get this scene which is kind of cool of Carlson being psychically connected to the vampire who's now in a different body and is seducing some like random fucking bloke on the road, and like, seducing him and like, making him touch her vagina and stuff like that. And then they get to this, they see the license plate in his dream, and then they go and they track the car to wherever the fuck they're at. Like I said, it's supposed to be in like Yorkshire or something. So it's like everything's taking place in London, and this is way up north. So basically she's pulled them out of, sent them on this wild goose chase as like a divergence, so that her, hunky beefcake vampires can go wild back in London.
Hunky boys.
Her hunky boys.
So at this point, like, Patrick Stewart was mostly just coming off doing TV movie productions of like Shakespearean stuff. And then he was in Dune in 84. Yeah.
So he would have been recognizable.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially not like a big giant A-list star.
Yeah, especially to like the British, because like he was on a bunch of BBC TV movies.
Yeah, which was a big ass thing back in the day. And they used to get a lot of like big name actors to go in the, like they would hire like one big name person or two big name people for those productions. But so she sends him on this wild goose chase. The scene with like it kind of doesn't add up, and maybe I missed something here, but like when they're sucking the life force out of people, like I said, it's this almost this blue light vapor type of thing. But in this instance, she like manifests herself. Well, two things. One, she sucks Patrick Stewart's like blood out of all of his head holes. But then also like she manifests herself as blood in the plane, and then just like does like what's the, I keep want to say Earthworm Jim. It's not Earthworm Jim. What's the like Boy and His Blob? You remember that game?
Oh, yeah.
Like she basically does the Boy and His Blob like through the bottom of the plane. And just bails.
Yeah. I think it's like they're saying that she has like this infection of like she's putting herself in the body. So I think like psychically she does exist in like Patrick Stewart and this woman, because like when you find her at the end of the film, she's like in a stasis on an altar because it is the hunky boys who are running wild in London. Yeah. And she is just like a conduit to take.
So she was never in the redheaded woman's body physically. That wasn't physically her body. She was just controlling them.
Well,
gotcha.
And there was that makes sense. Though, that kind of confirms that, where it was just like, I think he was asked something about like, do you know that she's here, or like, and then he just kind of said yes, but then immediately was just like, are you sure? And he's like, no. Like he could never fully confirm where she was, because it was,
like he could feel her there, but he
could never fully get it. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. So meanwhile, like I said, they're running amok back in London. Carlson kind of reveals at this point that he was the one who let her out, and he was like hypnotized by her and was like doing some Renfield shit and just like sabotaged the whole ship and bailed. He thought he was saving the world by like leaving her there, you know what I mean? And like basically abandoning and blowing up the ship. But obviously she made her way back because the rescue vessel, she was protected by her little, translucent box thing.
Face of emotion, basically.
Yeah, it's like their casket it's like their vampire casket, except for it's a goddamn future space vampire casket. So that's how you can tell things are from the future, is if they're like clear. It was kind of a corny. I thought that was kind of. If there's one corny element, it is the clear boxes.
I don't know. I like it though.
It looked cool. It looked cool, but it just was. Yeah, it was kind of a corny element.
Hey, do you guys know X-ray?
Yeah, they were like, it's kind of like when like back in the 50s sci-fi, kind of creature features and atomic age creature features, and they were just like, you can tell it's the future. They have like a lot of metal and like high collars.
High collars, crystals for no damn reason.
No crystals.
Guys,
a lot of beep
that
boops
manifested
and lights.
itself real hard in our generation. You know that.
Yeah. I don't know why women picked up on the whole crystal, because that was always a sign of evil.
Everyone's a witch now. Everyone's a witch.
Listen, I'm all for practicing witchcraft, but like, do it with like the old school sex magic way, like cum, period blood, like sacrifice shit, cut yourself, like stare at the moon, do mushrooms.
Is any
like,
you even
crystals.
Jerking off with these crystals or what?
You guys ain't even using these crystals the right way. You ain't even jerking off with them or nothing. You're not even crushing them up and snorting them.
I mean, have you guys not seen like those like crystal like dildo type things too? I forget the exact name of them, but someone who's listening can definitely confirm. I mean, you guys know that exists. Can definitely do it these days. Because again,
wait, crystal. They're like magical crystals, but they're dildos.
Yeah, there's like different like rocks, but they're shaped, and yeah, you can definitely like masturbate.
Oh man, sure. They would be real. I hope they're smooth.
They are. They are.
Sounds painful. Anyway,
you gotta get yourself back out there, Brian. World's gone bigger.
I know. Listen, I'm a married man. I don't stick hardly any crystals on my ass anymore.
No, like you need to go learn yourself. You get learned.
You gotta go get learned. I'm gonna go fast forward to me next week walking into like the adult novelty store going, hey, you got any crystals I can stick on this? And they're like, boy, howdy do we. There's a whole section. So anyway, Carlson tells them, the real story of kind of what happened. And then at this point, shit is really hitting the fan in London, so much so that the military is basically saying like, hey, you got like 3 hours and we're going to fucking nuke London. Which I was like, whoa, you really went to the fucking went crazy with that plan real fast.
Like, and all of this has been happening like off screen. We don't know about it. It's just literally like Carlson and Kane are riding back on the helicopter, like we were talking about, and that's when Blood Witch comes out of Patrick Stewart's head, and then after that, they just hear over the radio, "Oh yeah, London's been on lockdown. It's been under martial law for the past 3 hours." Oh, what? And then you see like London literally exploding.
I love this part because it goes from this like relatively small, isolated, like you said, alien like sci-fi horror flick to Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where like the whole city is burning and we're going to nuke London. If this doesn't get, like, if you guys don't get this shit under control, we're going to literally nuke London.
Yeah. Like, this is like when you're like putting together the script for this film, and like nowadays, if a producer saw that you went from space stuff to like London office stuff, they'd be like, no, it's just going to all be in space. Like,
we're not going to do all these different sets.
Yeah,
we're
that's
not
too
going
many
to like go to all these
locations.
different locations.
Yeah. But then not only do they do that, but then they go, oh, we're also going to go on the streets of London and fill it with people and fill it with explosions. And they're like,
and
what
fire
the fuck?
everywhere. Oh my God. They're just
explosions. I kind of liked it too, though.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. They blow up that double-decker bus. That was awesome.
And like, I mean, explosions have been happening all throughout the film. Like they blew out the glass in that early scene. They blew up the two hunky boys. They blew up all the vampire corpses. So like it's been building to this.
Oh, this is a movie I really want to see, like the Joe Bob treatment and have them go through the drive-in totals. There would be just an insane list of drive-in totals for this movie. But yeah, so you start to realize what's happening here. You start to kind of put the pieces together. The damn hunky and boobified space Draculas are using like human life force to power their ship. And they come around to Earth every however many years. I forget what it is. When Halley's Comet comes around, it's like 60 years
75.
or some shit like that. 75 years. They come around and they repower their ship by just like fucking up a bunch of humans. And you don't necessarily like say they do it with humans every time, but I think that's the implication here. But obviously, if this happened 75 years ago, like we probably would have heard that, like, the world was attacked and, all this stuff. But anyway, they're using this, and the two hunky boys are basically sucking up all the life force out of all these people on the streets and like transferring it to Count Boobula, and then she is shooting it up into the spaceship. Right, that's basically what's happening.
Why did we just start calling her Count Boobula?
I don't know. I'm pretty happy about that. It was basically a cross between like Count Dracula and Booberella from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
But like I said, shit has hit the fan at this point, and this is when like all the very Ghostbuster shit's happening. Like they're shooting our, like, goddamn zombie alien stuff all over the world,
all in the same time too. It's great.
Yeah, and everything's on fire, and it's like I said, it's fucking sick. You figure out that like Steve had mentioned, her like home base, her beacon, if you will, for transmitting the life force back up to her ship is this altar at this. It's a famous cathedral, right? I forget what it's called.
Yeah, I forget too. But yeah, it's like
St. Pete's or St. Paul's or one of them fucking guys. Yeah, one of those fucking guys. It's their. It was one of them cathedrals. Anyway, then they kind of determined that you can. And I didn't write this down, and I'm blanking on it. Where did they get the quote unquote leaded iron from, which is basically like the wooden stake that they can drive through their?
So it was it was the one doctor from the beginning of the film who is like, this all happens off screen, and so it's not the best part. It's not my favorite part, but I guess the doctor like was attacked by one of the hunky boys, and he just had a leaded stake that he drove through the heart. Or drove through the energy center is what he says of one of the hunky boys. So he kills one of the hunky boys just off screen. You don't see it happen.
That's right. Yeah, it was pretty forgettable.
Right.
And then they established that, this leaded iron is this ancient way of killing these fucking goddamn space Draculars. So, we're kind of spiraling towards the finish here. Carlson goes to the cathedral, kind of follows all the damn life force in there, sees Booberella there on the altar, and they kind of have this reconnection thing where like he is obviously way under her power still, and she is kind of milking him for all he's worth, as he has the whole time, but also like emotionally basically saying like, you're part of us, you're one of us. And he kind of suggests that like he was always one of them.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that was her just playing him a little bit.
Well, I mean, there's a line at the very beginning of the film where when they first go into the space vampire ship, and he says something to the effect of like, it feels like I've been here before.
He does.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if that was just her hypnotizing him.
Right. And then there, through the reveal of like there is like she imparts part of her energy into him, which is how they get this psychic link.
Yeah.
So like there is kind of this weird thing of like, has he always had some sort of connection to that, or
is he destined to be a damn space Renfield?
Mm-hmm.
Let's also like bring that there's now another layer that maybe there is like a witchy tendency to this whole thing, and I mean it could be like slightly overlapping with how like the vampire tropes and shit like that too. But he has that one quote where she's like. Where she says something like, I am the feminine in your mind too, which like definitely came like, I remember hearing that and I'm like, this is very witchy in a lot of way. And it also
is. It's almost this like pagan type of ancient alien shit where he's like, it's the most devastatingly feminine force I've ever heard or whatever.
Right.
And that's when he's like, is it sexual in nature? He's like, it's incredibly horrifyingly sexual or whatever.
Oh yeah. There's like these like witchy tropes or too, where we talk about like the masculine and feminine like energies and stuff like that. So that's where I was like getting now where this movie is so fucking cool for bringing all this shit into it, but like that whole idea of like taking over his mind, like we probably could hypothesize that there is some sort of like either deja vu type thing or past life type element going on, which would be interesting.
Yeah I'd be interested. I would genuinely, I think I want to read the book because I would love to get a little bit more of the background there. And also it did feel like the character of Carlson was like a little bit like there were some times where he kind of just like, I don't want to say he dumped exposition, but he was just like, tell me the plot of the movie. Like when he was like, what are these feelings? Like he's just like, it's just like I don't know. He's just more of a conduit for like, I mean, obviously he plays a huge part, which we're about to talk about, but I don't know. I just guess he becomes like a shell of a character a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah. I wonder like, I'd like to read the book too, just to get like more of a background. Cause so like the three films we did in the Showdown, they all have like pretty strong subtexts and they're all different subtexts. And, we went through them. This film doesn't have like a real strong subtext, but maybe there is something that was like part of the book. And like, we're talking about how like Carlson has this link to like feminine energy and everything. Maybe there's something about just general repression that, because you look at all the other actors and like just the general British nature of the film and how everybody's just like, oh, quite. Oh, I saw a boob. Oh,
yeah, it's so British.
Yeah, and like
have a biscuit.
But like, it's like mainly male dominated, and it's also just like incredibly sexually repressed because they're all just turned on like seeing a boob or seeing women kiss or seeing and then
Maybe they're all incels as well.
Yeah, maybe there's more to it. But and then like there's also just this really like hilariously prim and proper nature because one of the things like when Carlson and Kane come back to London, they go to a base, and one of the first things that happens when they get on this base is that the secretary asks if they want tea while the entire city is burning down around them. It's like, you just like to sit down and have a little bit of tea. And it's like, that's not appropriate at the moment.
Yeah, and even like the way they talk whenever they're interviewing Carlson and he's telling them all this crazy stuff, like it's just all very prim and proper
and clinical,
you know, and clinical and procedural. Yeah. But anyway, so we're basically at the end here. Carlson goes up and he, you know, has this conversation with the damn space vampire, and they start doing this like really hardcore aggressive makeout scene. And then this is where I think, you know, I think the whole idea was like she would just like fuck people, and that's how she, like, I genuinely think it was supposed to be like she would take the life force from people via sex. So it was more like maybe a succubus-ish type of story. But I think they were just like, no, we can't, like, yeah, we'll show her naked, but we're not gonna have a bunch of fucking scenes. And at the end, they basically compromised with like, mommy and daddy are gonna hug, and then that's how babies are made. Like that's kind of the sex scene at the end. Is just like them pressing their bellies together, and I'm like, is there like P and VG here or not? Like it looks like they're trying to suggest that there is, but like that's not a great angle. You have to have one of those wieners that bend up. You know what I mean?
Tobe had to really fight to get woman on top for.
Yeah.
Like,
I know. Yeah, he did. You could tell this was supposed to be like a way more sexually charged movie. Not that it's not, but like, I really think that they originally wanted to be like, you know, more, not that they're going to show like full on penetration, but I mean, like, I think the implication was that she was supposed to be having sex with these people and taking their life force, but they really only showed it in a very hands-off type of way in the climactic scene.
Yeah. I just kind of assumed as like this alien that she probably had sex in different ways. You know what I mean? Like she gained pleasure,
like mouth
even
sex?
Yeah, pretty much kind of like that. But like, I mean,
I think that's obviously I just wonder if that was like that's just an agreement they came to.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, or you're probably on track with that, because like there's also that scene where they're trying to locate her, and they put Carlson in the hypnosis, and like he's having that vision of the dirty old vicar or whatever, just trying to finger blast that girl in the car.
Dirty old vicar. Yeah, he is. Old Vicar Fingies over there. He's over there with his fucking little cap on. Just
he's got his driving cap on, and he's trying to finger blast the lady as he drives on the country roads.
Over on the damn right. That's why the British are wrong. You don't put the steering wheel on that side, because now you have to finger blast with your left hand.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
That's assuming that there's more like right-handed people, though. I mean, maybe
there are.
Are you saying?
I mean, yeah, I know.
That's fact. Wait, you're saying all British people are left-handed? Is that the rumor you're trying to start? They have bad teeth and they're all left-handed.
Yeah, actually, I am.
Yeah, no, that would be very British to like handicap yourself by having to use your non-dominant hand, because you don't want it to be too pleasurable for the woman.
To the road, because you're like, oh god, this is gonna get real uncomfortable if I'm like doing this poorly.
It just cuts off the temptation to even try to begin with.
Exactly. You're like, because I don't want to do this with my left hand.
Yeah. I'll get cramps.
I gotta use my
Bitch,
strong
do it yourself. I mean, at that point, I probably would have wanted to do it myself anyway. So
my wrist is cramping.
Let me mix it with my strong hand.
Did you catch that? Did you catch that rabbit dildo like meme going on with that particular? Did you
it's so gross.
It was fucking beautiful. Actually, I found it hilarious. Anywho. Finger blasting. Let's fucking go.
Finger blasting. It's where it's at.
That's a shirt. Finger blasting. Let's fucking go. So anyway, so they're doing the left-handed finger blasting only. So anyway, as you might expect, Carlson, Carlson, Kane kind of does the whole like throws the leaded iron down to him in this kind of like, hey, giving him the assist type thing, and then he impales himself, and Buparella at the same time, which I don't know, man. Like harikaring yourself with a lead pipe through another human is like, that's intense.
Yeah.
You gotta have some damn upper body strength to do that. But so he does that, killing, of course, both of them. And then the big giant goth spaceship just kind of bails at this point, and then the credits roll with just Kane just chilling in the middle of the street as London's like burning down. Just like, I don't know, is he supposed to be seeing the spaceship? I don't know, but he's just like, okay, bye-bye.
Well,
the credits roll.
Well, that's it. That's the end of London, I guess.
Yep. See you later. Bye.
And then we got 28 weeks later.
Yeah. And then that's the follow-up. No, but I mean, this movie is just so damn entertaining. There's so much going on. Like, the performances are fun. They are diverse, the performances, because you have these very stuffy British performances. And then you also have like Carlson, who's a little bit more like spastic in his performance.
Yeah. He's like sweaty. Yeah. He's like unhinged.
He's got fucking flop sweats every time you see him. It's just, man, cool movie.
It was great. I enjoyed it a lot. Again, guys, poor choice in choosing the movies you chose.
I know. Yeah. This is better than both of those movies.
Like 10 out of 10.
I know. Whatever. It's a real
but
fucking miss.
But guess what? Martin won, so I'm your motherfucking champ for the next 30 fucking days.
Listen, the only ones that really matter is October. So,
and that was a toss-up. There's no.
And you won October too last year, didn't you?
Yeah, she did.
I think so. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, because she had Village of the Dam, which is slightly less worse than everything else.
Yeah, slightly not as fucking awful as our movies.
I mean, but did have children getting bombed in a terrorist act, which is like hilarious.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That movie's a lot darker than I remember. All right, that is Lifeforce. I cannot stress this enough. If you have the opportunity, drop everything you're doing right now. Smash your phone on the ground. Go to your TV, or unless you have Tubi on your phone, then go to Tubi on your phone.
Because sometimes I have to watch it on my phone because it's better than sometimes the internet in my camper.
Yes, no, I get it. Wherever you're going to watch Tubi at, smash everything else, not that thing. Mm-hmm. Then search for Lifeforce. It's all one word, 1985. You are going to be so pleased with your decision.
If you're jerking off, don't stop. But just like Edge, and then start the movie up, because then you can finish while watching the movie.
Yes.
Yeah, within the first 10 minutes. Yes, basically Pornhub.
You're going to have some great boobs. Okay. Let me recap really quickly for all yins out there who are getting ready to help us vote for our September Showdown topic. In the coming week, you will see on the Instagrams and our Instagram stories, or on a Twitter poll, or both. You know what? You can make your vote count double if you go and vote on both those things. But also, go ahead and give us a little goddamn follow on those social media outlets. And as always, I sent out some last week, some damn stickers. If you want some Halloween is Forever stickers, go on, and you know what? I'll probably throw some other dumb shit in there too. Some sort of little spooky ooky trinket, because I got a lot of that floating around here. I'll send it to you in the mail, but all you got to do is go on your podcatcher app. If it's an Apple Podcast, if it's a Spotify, one of these podcatcher apps that have a rating system on it and the opportunity to write a review, give us the top amount of ratings, the maximum star rating, and write us a little review. I don't give a shit what it says, but go ahead and do that. Take a little screen grab of it, send it to us in the DMs, and send me your address, and I'll mail you some damn shit from beautiful Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Now, recap. Erie, Indiana episodes. The best of Erie, Indiana. Satanic Panic, which I guess we never really explained. It's just any satanic, demonic, not even demonic. Does it need? We should probably lay out some ground rules here.
I think cult.
Specifically,
I think cult is like any kind of cult is on the table.
but a satanic cult. Like, it can't be like a Jesus cult.
But does it also, because there's plenty of movies that even call out like this idea of like, oh, this is a satanic situation. Again, like say the movie Satanic Panic, like the newer one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if I feel like there might be enough in that.
But like what about like The Exorcist? Is The Exorcist? It's a demon. It's not technically Satan.
I wouldn't. I just wouldn't go with like. That's
none of us are going to pick The Exorcist because that would be a little. I don't know.
That's overkill.
I think we'll have to break this one down. You know, I like even just breaking down these subgenres a little bit more, like what like what we assume, because I think the more
like
we
Rosemary's
do this,
Baby, that makes perfect sense.
Rosemary's Baby
would be great.
The Ty West film, The House of the Devil, would be a real good one.
That's a straight up Satan cult.
Yeah.
They're not talking about some damn demons. They're not talking about Baphomet. They're talking about Satan.
When you say cult, it's like satanic cult, though, specifically. Like it has to, I mean, then in theory, could like some of the paranormal activities almost, I mean, granted, they like genre bend.
Those are demons. That's not Satan. I think it has to be satanic in nature. So it's like honestly, like the Devil's Advocate. I would say even the Devil's Advocate would be. Now that's not really a horror. Yeah, I mean,
it's kind of a horror. It's not a good horror, but it's kind of a horror.
No, it would be a bad choice. But you get the idea. Like literally, it has plays Satan.
Yeah, it has to literally reference Satan. Like I think we have other categories for demon shit. So like it has to literally be Satan as the bad guy or the driving force.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Of course, we can go with some giallo flicks, which is always a fun category as well. So go on the social medias here, usually about Tuesday, Wednesday, some point in the middle of the week after this episode comes out on Monday. We'll post that, give us a little vote. Go review us and do all those kind of nice things. And then we also have coming up here pretty soon, maybe by the time we do this Showdown episode, I think we'll probably be able to announce it. But it looks like we're going to do
a save the date.
Yeah. Guys, just think about it. October the 29th. Okay. Right before Halloween weekend. If you're thinking about seeing us live and doing a fun type of little Halloween party situation with us, block off that date. More details to come. We did a live show where we did Midsommar last month. It was an absolute fucking blast. This is going to be even better on account of it's Halloween weekend and shit's going to get fucking wild. I fully anticipate our lives to come to a screeching end that evening. So come and check it out. We'll give you more details as they unfold, but maybe pencil that in on the old calendar if you live in Western Pennsylvania or somewhere in the Eastern Ohio, Western PA, whatever. You want to fly from fucking Timbuktu? I don't care. Make it happen, you guys. We're giving you plenty of notice. Now, any other things that I'm forgetting about that? Any final thoughts on Lifeforce?
No, movie rules.
No, it's sick. It's sick.
Go watch it. You're not gonna be sad about it.
Like boobs, aliens, vampires, zombies, maybe witches. You're gonna find something to love about this movie.
Those are literally all my favorite things.
It has something for everyone. It's a family film. I would actually go as far to say.
Watch it with your young children.
Yes,
younger the better.
Yes.
It is also very safe for work. Put it on, in a PowerPoint presentation just at the end of, your quarterly review. Okay, guys, with all that being said, for the Halloween is Forever crew, I'm Brian.
I'm your queen champ.
I'm regretting not picking Lifeforce.
We all are. See you later. Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.